my question is like I come from design and stories background, from fashion background,
Right.
and politics and talking on the topics of politics require new lot of jargons, new lot of terminologies that makes us understand the world of leadership from the political angle.
Right.
So, what are your suggestions for people like who are coming from the different background, from backgrounds of fashion, design, and other aspects, to go into the mainstream of political leadership and understand and talk in that terms?
Right.
What are your suggestions on that?
It's a good thing that you don't come from that particular fraternity for a different reason. I'll say this based on my experience of writing the book. I'm not bragging about the book. I don't think that I need to. The point is, when you take up a new subject where the terminology is bound to bog you down in the initial days of reading, you will have this burning desire. Could they have not said this in a simpler fashion? What is this need to use words like recursive at every possible juncture? What are you trying to say? Make it clear. But then see, that's the lay person talking. They are trying to first cater to their home audience, which is the academic fraternity. So you can't blame them. If, as a lawyer, my first goal is to win respect of my peers, everybody else comes later, right? So that's the language they will write in. So you have the fantastic opportunity of doing what? Learn, simplify, disseminate. The first two sections of my book do exactly the same thing, where I've tried to digest material which has been as hard as pig iron, and I've tried to say I'll present it in a edible fashion to the people who must know what is going on in the academic fraternity, because that's where the battle is being fought. Because that's where textbooks are being written. That's where the policy is being formulated. That's where the pedagogy is being, let's say, created, so to speak. So understand that and present it. So your journey should be learn, don't evade that process. It will be difficult, but I'm sure in this place there won't be a dearth of any kind of support. Either, let's say, with reference to subscription-based databases or people who you can reach out to. So do that, and then bring in your core competence and your fundamental skills to see how you can actually disseminate. If you're from design, I'm dying to read a new version of Amar Chitrakatha which retains the spirit of the past and doesn't have the stupidity of removing the Janevu from the Saptarishis. That's what they've been doing now. They're removing it. I'm sorry, what history are you trying to? If this is your case, will you give up the atrocity literature that you peddle with respect to caste the moment you remove that? You're not going to do that. So you'll use that as a stick to beat with, and you'll continue to deracinate us completely. You'll continue to pixelate this past entirely. So I'm happy that people from the design side are actually coming in. The creative, let's say, people must be a part of this, because I don't want to use that word soft power anymore. I'm saying it's a very clear hard power. It's a hard component. It is intangible, perhaps that's why it is soft, but its reach is tremendous and phenomenal. A 30-second video can do much more than what a book these days can do. I think it's unfortunate. That's a reflection of the times that we live in and the attention span that we suffer from. Okay, not blessed with, suffer from. Therefore, this is something that you can certainly do. Read, understand, and find ways of simplifying and disseminating. Because today the problem is that all this discussion is stuck in academic ivory towers. It needs to go out. It needs to go out. The ideation cannot be democratic, but consumption can certainly be democratic. Because not everybody can contribute to a particular subject, and I don't think everybody is capable of. I dare say this. Somebody starts talking to him on constitutional reforms, my first question will be, what do you know about the subject? How are you qualified to speak on this? It's not a question of authority, it's a question of qualification and training. That would be my first question. So similarly, this is the journey I think that you could perhaps consider adopting. And I'd be interested to see what kind of creative civilizational initiatives come out of this place. Not just hardcore academic aspects. That'll be fantastic. Animation, whatnot. The kind of itihasas and puranas we have, I'm surprised it's such a poorly tapped resource for animation. What kind of stupid superhero for sci-fi movies do we consume? They're really nothing. I honestly, in terms of sheer imagination, the sheer possibility, and obviously you can't be doing that using real life characters. Therefore, you have to go for CGI and whatnot. What a fantastic industry that is. A Kung Fu Panda can do so much for the soft image of China, a repressive regime, a bloody regime. We can't do better for Bharat with the kind of itihasas we are blessed with, not cursed with. So therefore, I think it's great that people with your backgrounds have come. That gives me a lot of hope. Clearly, there is a diversity in your intake. Fantastic. All the best.